Hey guys, it's me, Nick Gaming 2174 here, bringing you all another video in Geometry Dash again. So as some of you may know, I'm building my level, The Unfortunate Soul, and I'm building it so much to make it rate-worthy, maybe feature if possible. And I'm bringing this video because I wanted to show my building ideas in case there are people who are having trouble with trying to get a featured level or a rated level. But so as some of you may know, we finished this part and this part in the last video, not video stream. And then this part here was going to be a modern-like part from ActQ, some of you guys may know. But I dropped the idea because I found it was way too complicated, so I changed it to part more like this. And as you can see, it's not finished. I have laid the hazardous objects here, but it's not finished. The block ideas here, I need to finish that. Then it will be. So anyway, I'll show you all basically like how I did these ideas in case you guys are curious. So this part here, it looks hard, but it's actually really simple. The block design is very easy. So the way I did it was I took this object, which is basically this. I made that dark blue. Well, it comes up like that because it's a color trigger. And then on the, well, light blue. And then on here, I added glow, but made it dark blue. And then you guys may wonder, what is that object? These objects is this. And so basically you do this. You add it like that for 4 corners, and then it just looks like that, basically. And then the hazardous objects here, the way I did that was, so I have it at T layer 1, but the Z order here is what's most important. The Z order for that is 1. And then for here, the Z order here, I'll quickly change this so that way the stuff doesn't look weird on the level itself. So hold on, I'll get there. But yeah, Z order is very important here for you guys wanting to do an idea like this. So I want to put the Z order at 2. So basically what the Z order does, for those of you that are curious, is that you can basically, so it's on T layer 1, but this is also on T layer 1 as well. So what you do is the Z order, not that object, this. You basically toggle the Z order so that this is lower. And then the one up here, Z order 2, that makes it so that this is seen above it. So it basically toggles a layer on a layer is the way to say it. And then the stuff here, I simply made this. It's supposed to kind of look, I think it's supposed to be kind of like a conveyor belt. I did it going up and down, and then I added these like glow columns. And then with this, the spikes here, the fake spikes it's basically like that. But as you can see, it's kind of transparent. What I did actually to make it so that it doesn't look that way is I copied and pasted it. So I did it like this once, and then I copied and pasted it 2 more times. So that way it didn't look as transparent. And then over here, so as I explained, this part's not finished. So basically the way you do this idea is, so you want to do that like always. But then here you want to do, so this object here is this basically. So you do that, and then on this next layer you take this, and then I sized it down basically for it to fit onto that. And I just basically applied it to everything else. Oh, actually, one thing I will say is I actually changed up the gameplay here. I nerfed it significantly because I figured this might make people angry. So some of you may know this orb was here, but I actually moved it to here. So that way it's a lot less harder to do that. So yeah, I nerfed it. And then here, this part so far has been the hardest to make. It looks easy, but it's actually not. I'll show you all why. So, the hazardous object here, this part is very complicated. So what I did here, I had to use the Z order a lot here to get this to work. So, okay, forgive me if I'm explaining this in a really bad way, but... So what I did to make it look this way was... So I made the Z order here on that too, copied and pasted down, and I moved it down 3 times like that. And then for this, I made it a little bit lighter, and then toggled the Z order by 2. So I added 2 Z order layers, and I basically did that for the whole thing. So like this here is 6, next one is 8, and then next one is 10, and then the next one is 12. And as you can see, I did it so that it gets lighter as you're going down. And then the way to make the glow, this was a really hard part. So the hazardous object there is 2. So this glow corresponds to this hazardous object here. So to make it look that way, I put the Z order at 1. So it's kind of behind the hazardous object. And I did the same here, but instead of going with even numbers, I added it by 2 with odd numbers. That should be 5. I don't know why it's not. I wonder... that's all wrong. Okay, but... Yeah, I should probably fix this, so... I'll fix that off camera. Maybe that's probably why it looks this way, but... Yeah, that's basically how I did it. It's really complicated. As much as it seems, it is not easy at all. But the block here, this was really hard to do. And I will actually say one thing. This part was actually, the whole part was inspired from Future Funk 2. I'll show you all where I was inspired from that in a little bit. So basically the way I did this is a hazardous object here, is this. So I set it to the darkest green I made. And then here, this is not a hazardous object. It's this here, this like glow. And I set that a little lighter. But the Z order, actually I need to explain the Z order here is 3. And then it decreases as it's going down. And then about the block idea. Oh yeah, the glow basically that's here kind of applies the same way it did with the hazardous objects. So now about the block design. So the first step I did, and this is always the first step I do to making block designs, I always put this in all the boxes to fill that in. And then here I put this, and then what I did was I made the base block and the detail is white. Sorry, just had to clear my throat. And then here, I use this. And if you guys can kind of see, I don't know if you can see, but there are darker and lighter ones. So I basically scattered that a lot around the place. And then here with these glow boxes, these colors correspond to the lighter and darker boxes, as you can see. And then about the outline here, this part was another really hard thing to do. So this block, you may immediately think it's or you probably can already tell it's not what you think it is. It's actually this block. So the way to make it look that way is I set the color here black, but I put the opacity at 0. That's for the base, the block part, and then the details for like the line part. I made this black. And then what I did, because I noticed it wasn't filled in, I took these, not that, where's the tinier one? This one, and then I just filled it in going across, and that's also black too. So basically, that's how you do the block design. Yeah, it's not easy at all, as much as it seems. And as much as it seems like it's actually not finished. This part, I need to add a bit more decoration and stuff. But here, I'll show you all from Future Funk 2. Yeah, I got a bunch of levels here I copied to find ideas. So I'll show you all from Future Funk 2 what inspired me to make that part. It's actually two separate parts I inspired this from. So the block design was inspired from this part. So as you can see, Jonathan GD basically kind of did the same thing here. And then about here, so yeah, these blocks here are the same thing as that, basically. And then I put this in. Oh wait, that's a little different, but I put, so he did that, and then I did, and then I used this. They're a little different, but, and then this is basically like black. There's a slight difference I simply didn't include this stuff because I felt that would have been a little more complicated to use. And about the top of the block design, I'm sure y'all could probably have noticed, that was inspired from here. So because you can kind of see this block design here, it was basically inspired from that as well. And then I just combined the two ideas together. So that's basically what inspired me to make that one part in my level. But yeah, this level is coming together pretty good. I'll fix the mistakes I did with the glow here. So that way it's actually more accurate. And so yeah, that's basically all I wanted to show. Some of my block ideas and how to do it. So yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, leave a like. As always, feel free to subscribe. So bye for now.